Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode. Today, another exciting episode for me anyway, is I just went out and got a brand new camera. Now this camera is going to take the place of the one you're seeing the front shot, and that is the Osmo Pocket. Now to my right up here is the Osmo Action. Both of those I'll still be taking out in the field in addition to this. But they're for different things. Like for instance, the Osmo Action into smaller areas if I need a wider view or if it's rainy or something like that. Because this camera, which is the Canon R10, this camera is not weatherproof. Now it could take some rain, it could take, a little bit of weather, but it's not weatherproof like the Osmo Action up there is. But I got the bigger lens for this. Unfortunately, as of the time of this taping, Canon R10 only has 2 lenses. That's it. It has a smaller lens and a bigger lens. And I believe the smaller one is 18 to 55 millimeter. This one's at 18 to 150. At least I hope that's what I ordered. That's what I think I ordered. As you can see on the one side here, this is the EOS R10, and it's supposed to have the RFS lens 18 to 150 millimeter. It's only at f.35, which isn't normally the best, but supposedly the Canon EOS R10, because of the aperture settings and all that good stuff. Okay, I haven't had a DSLR, or in this case, well, I'll explain that in a minute, but I haven't had a DSLR type camera for about 15 years, so I'm a little rusty. But hopefully this camera will step up my game. But as I get used to and as I learn a little more on the R10, hopefully I can get you better content. Now on the back side here, it says contents. It's the R10 body, strap, battery charger, battery pack, lens, which is again supposed to include the RFS 18 to 150 millimeter, f3.5 to 6.3. I believe it has digital image stabilization in this thing, but we'll see that a little bit later. And of course on the other side, it has the same information, plus it has, the serial numbers and all that kind of stuff. Alrighty, now occasionally you might see my hand go up because the Osmo Action, the front screen that I'm looking at to make sure I'm in frame, it keeps timing out on me. So must be a setting I bumped or something. But anyhow, in the front, again, you have EOS R10. And then on the bottom, just a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's go ahead and open this puppy up. Dun, dun, dun. Now, when this did come from Amazon, and I'll put a link down below where I got it, but it came very well packaged, actually very tight. I had a heck of a time getting it out. I had to actually destroy the box to get out this box, but it was done pretty well, or packaged very well. Now the first thing you'll see here is image.canon. What is this? I'm trying to get you to do Google Cloud. And then this is the limited warranty. I don't see how long, but it's a limited warranty. And of course we do have the instruction manual right here. And for this, I'm definitely going to keep it. And then you have your battery. Let's take that out. 1040 milliamp battery. That's not great, but evidently it does the job. It is battery pack number LPE17. And then we have the battery charger. The battery charger is just a single battery charger. It does have, this is kind of neat, pull out, so you can travel with it. Output is 8.4 volts. And then we have the nice strap EOS R10. This looks like the lens. Yes. See if you can see that. 18 to 150 lens. And yep, it is a f3.5 to 6.3. Just say IS STM. So image stabilization of some sort. And it is, let's see, it does take 55mm filters. So I might buy some of those a little bit later. Set that off to the side, nice and neat. And now, the creme de la creme. We got the camera body itself. Alrighty. So, ooh, nice. Very nice. It's actually very lightweight. It's plasticky, but doesn't feel cheap in the hand. I know that sounds kind of strange, but the screen itself, oh, it's locked in there pretty good. It does swivel, which is what I like. Take some low shots, high shots, the whole bit. Okay. And then on this side, you do have microphone input. So that's where hopefully I can put in the Movo wireless mic system that I got. And then up top, that little hole, that is where you have like a external shutter, remote shutter. And then up top, you do have HDMI and Type-C USB. Now, supposedly, if you have a power PD charger, like this one, okay, a battery pack, supposedly you can charge the battery. Right here is where you put your little chip, your SD card right there. And then over here is where you put the battery. So let's go ahead and put the battery in. See how much battery life is actually in this battery, and see if we can at least show the menus and stuff. So with the battery, it looks like it only goes one way. It's nice and tight. That's good. And then to get it out, you just kind of pull back on this little lever. Boing. And then you can take the battery back out. Nice. All right, so, and then on and off is over here. Turn on. Okay, no card and camera. And looks like the battery is almost dead, which kind of tells me this thing was probably sitting in the warehouse for a long time. So, not happy with that. But we'll get this battery charged up, and then we'll put it through its paces. Now, supposedly, this has some sort of power directive output, the Type-C on the side here. Just go ahead and plug a Type-C cable in here. Now, there's a charging light here. Let's see if that thing charges up when we plug this in. Fingers crossed. It does. Let's go ahead and put this lens on. Now this arrow has to go straight up. Pop that off. And then as you see right in here, see if I can show you. There we go. That is the aps-c sensor right there. And of course, you have to be careful with those little pins, because that is what does all the autofocus and things like that. Just go ahead and take that off. And you see these pins over here. Those pins have to line up with those pins. And the way you do it, see if I can find it there. See that red dot? That lines up with that red dot. You put it in, and then you twist till you hear the click, and that's in. So now, take the lens cap off. Should be able to open this up, turn it on, and we see stuff. Yay! Let me bring this up. Just like that. Okay. On top here, we do have different modes, and as you can see, it's in like a basic mode. So it kind of tells you what shutter priority and things like that is. Every time you switch it, it has this little menu over here, basic menu that kind of tells the user what it is for. Manual exposure, bulb. Hey, that's a new one. I don't remember that on my old system. Exposure continues while shutter button is pressed. Oh, cool. Okay. And then you have shutter speed and aperture set automatically. Shutter speed and aperture set. Oh, so you can program these for whatever you want. Got it. And then of course, movie mode, which is what I want. So how do you do that? There's this little button here that you can use to set things. So I wonder if this is, ooh, it's a touchscreen. So choose mode. Ta-da! Well, look at that. And then you have, let's see if I can move. That's it. Okay, so you have this little button here that you can move up and down to get the different modes. So HDR, if I push OK, there we go. When you actually push and record, it will, the screen will stay on. Got it. And of course you can look through the viewfinder as well. That is a digital viewfinder. Nice. Ooh. And the autofocus and auto white balance and everything. Oh, this thing is nice. It is quick. Huh? Creative filters. Oh, cool. It has a creative filter as well. We got that. And then automatic. I wonder if I push menu, it does. Each individual selection that you have has a different menu. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different selections. Let's see, program, I bet that has 10 different selections. Wow, what do you know? That is really neat. Okay, so let's go back to video, two-tap mode. Okay. And hit menu, and then image stabilization modes. Here we go. So I have to move this little button up and down because it goes up and down, left to right, and you push it to select. So let me go to the right. Okay. So if I push straight, there we go. Image stabilization on, which is what I want. It says to go back, I hit menu. Okay, there we go. Subject to detect. I can do people, I can do animals, vehicles, or nothing. Ooh, that's cool. And then set. Okay, so set means push the button. Eye detection enabled. Oh, this is neat stuff. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This thing has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Sensor cleaning. It automatically cleans the sensor too. That's nice. Now up here, it does have of course, a hot shoe, not just a cold shoe, but a hot shoe. It has different adapters in there. On the bottom of the viewfinder, it does have a little, positive, negative slider. So if you wear glasses like I do, you can actually supposedly take the glasses off and adjust that little knob on the bottom, and you should be able to see just fine. At least that's the theory. Another thing is this does have a pop-up flash. The way you change the resolution for video is, of course, you put it to video, turn it on, you either hit the Q button here or you hit the set Q button over here. It doesn't really matter which one. And that gets you into the Q or quick menu. You will see hit set to set up. So you go over here and you hit set, or you can probably, dang it, or you can probably hit down here, I wonder. Yes, you can, look at that. And you have, of course, 4K 30, 4K 30 Lite, 4K 24, 4K 60, but it does, that's light, but it does crop. Then you have 4K 60 standard, which is also a crop, 4K 24 Lite, 19 by 20 by 1080, which is high definition essentially. Now that is 60 frames per second as well. FHD 60 frames per second, FHD 30 frames per second. And by the way, none of this is cropped. FHD 30 frames per second light, FHD 24 frames, and FHD 24 frames light. I've never had a camera that had light on it before, so I'm not 100% sure what that is. Now the thing is, it can possibly overheat, it said, in 4K 30. So when it says you have approximately 2 hours of recording time, it means continual recording time. Pretty cool, huh? The SD card that I got for the Canon EOS R10 is actually an aps-c UHS-2 U3 at 256 gigabytes. It is a Duro data from Ameryh, and it is supposed to be able to do 300 megabytes per second, which is more than enough for 4K video. Now I'll put a link down below for this product. It does have a lock unlock here. Now this one is made in Taiwan. And actually, as you can see here, it has a whole bunch of contacts compared to like the standard SD card that only has, just like one row of contacts. And all you do, take it, plop it in till it clicks. Now, of course, with any new chip that you put into anything, you want to make sure that you format it. So go ahead and hit the menu button, go all the way over to, I guess, the mechanics or maintenance, whatever. Scroll down to format card, click set or enter, or go ahead and just push format card. It says format card, all data will be lost. Well, I didn't have anything in it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and push on OK, and it's formatted. That's all there is to it. Hit menu again, and you are set and ready to go. It says you have about 2 hours of video in 4K. Pretty cool.